Hey there, wedding enthusiasts! Welcome to Bridal Hype.
The podcast where we chat about everything under the wedding sun. No filter, all fun.
That's right, we're here to laugh, cringe, and celebrate all the wild and wonderful moments that comes with saying, I do.
From the latest trends that makes us go, really, to the epic fails that keeps us awake at night. We've got it all.
So whether you're tying the knot, planning the perfect day, or just love a good wedding story, you're in the right place.
Let's crank up the hype and celebrate the wonderful chaos of weddings together.
Hello beautiful brides, grooms and wedding enthusiasts. Welcome back to Bridal Hype, the podcast where we dive into every corner of wedding planning to help you turn your dream day into reality.
Today we're talking about a critical part of planning that you may not realize makes all the difference. The powerful vendor relationships.
Yes, we're talking about those essential connections wedding planners have with everyone from florist...
Dis 'n bloemetjie. Dis 'n bloemetjie.
Okay. Yes, we're talking about those
Essentials. So essential oil daar.
Okay, ek gaan dit nou kry. Okay. Yes, we're talking about those essential for fuck's sake.
Net sit in jou kop vas die ander woorde, nê?
Ja, essential. Okay. Okay.
Regtig 2 sekondes wag. Eind met dan yes, okay.
Yes, we're talking about those essential connections wedding planners have with everyone from florists to photographers, caterers to DJs. So, why are these relationships so important, Elisma?
What makes a planner's vendor squad the secret sauce for a wedding success? Let's jump in and talk about why these relationships matter so much.
Perfect. Let's start with a big truth about wedding planning. No one does it alone, and I mean no one. Even if you have a superwoman or superman planner, they can't transform a blank space into a gorgeous wedding all by themselves. That's where vendors come in.
Each vendor plays a specific role in bringing your wedding vision to life. And when your planner has a great relationship with each one, things tend to go smoother, faster, and with way less stress. Even though these vendor relationships are often short-term, they're hugely impactful. Think of them as a power team your planner assembles just for your day.
And here's a little industry secret. The better the relationship, the better the results. When a planner and a vendor have a good working relationship, it's like a well-rehearsed dance. They know each other's styles, can anticipate each other's needs, and most importantly, they trust each other.
100%. Linka, do you have those special relationships?
Oh yes, definitely. I have been placed in situations where vendors and the relationships I have with them have come through to save the day. And I have a great team that I can count on, and I know that they will always be there for me when I have an emergency or when things don't go to plan. I know they will come through for me.
I think that's most important for us in the industry, is just to know that whatever supplier it is, they've got your back. Whatever situation you're in, they can help you out, or if there's any stressful situations that do arise, that you can lean on them for additional support where needed. So yeah, we've got our own preferred suppliers that we do tend to work with. There might be a few that we don't, and we're always open to having new relationships, build new relationships with new suppliers. I love a new relationship, a fresh face, a fresh breath of fresh air on site. So yeah.
If they are hardworking and positive, you can be part of the team.
Yes, that is basically it.
To sum it all up.
Okay, so let's break it down why these vendor relationships matter so much. First off, in the wedding world, everything is super fast-paced. Planners and vendors don't always have months or even weeks to get comfortable working together, so they have to form quick connections and build trust on the fly. A strong, short vendor relationship lets planner get the job done without the friction that can come from uncertainty.
Imagine a florist setting up while the DJ tests the sound, all while the caterer is arranging appetizers in the next room. When your planner and these vendors trust each other, they're each working like a cog in the wedding machine. They'll communicate, avoid each other's setups, and keep things moving seamlessly. Short vendor relationships may be brief, but when they're built on respect and good communication, they lead to magic on the wedding day.
Definitely. I think I've only had a few instances where I didn't get along with the suppliers on site, or I didn't know the suppliers on site. I'm an introverted extrovert when it does come to new suppliers. It's really weird. Like, I'm hesitant and I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I do greet them with open arms, make sure my suppliers are well looked after, but just that intro meet and greet and making sure like they're okay, do they like me, is it okay if I work with you again, all of that. It's sometimes tricky. They just maybe like insecurity on my behalf, but as soon as we get on like fire, go
Then you're on a friend basis.
then you message them at 10 o'clock in the evening
and chat about what happened at setup that was a laughable situation.
exactly.
No, I do agree, but also I like when clients suggest new suppliers, but it's also a very daunting aspect for me because, no offense, but you don't know their quality of work. You don't know the energy and the atmosphere that they will bring to site on the wedding day. Not necessarily only the wedding day, but the day set up prior to the wedding day.
Exactly.
And it all falls into one another. And it's always, like I said, a daunting task for me to appoint a new supplier. But we are open to it, and we will judge you based on your performance and no, definitely we will judge you based on your performance or the type of
service you give to the client.
Definitely, if it's quality or not. And we as planners are automatically associated with this company, so we do want to have a certain quality of standard that we like to apply by. Yes.
At the end of the day, like, our client needs to be happy, and if we know there's a supplier out there, or whether we ask, that's the beauty of our coordinators community, whether we ask that client, look, I like the supplier you're sending me, I haven't worked with them before, let me just do a bit of research and find out from any of the other planners if they have what their experience was. I'll give you your honest feedback, and if you still then not abide by it, I do tell my clients, look, then I'm washing my hands.
Yes.
If anything goes wrong here,
I don't take responsibility for them.
I don't take responsibility, but if they're amazing, happy to work with them, they're amazing, looking forward to seeing their stuff, or whatever the case, whatever supply, it can be from a DJ straight to a photographer, etc. And we've had some horror stories out there about specific suppliers, and there's definitely suppliers that some of my clients have recommended and I had to go, I'm sorry, I do not work with them. I don't necessarily like to disclose the reason why or go into the nitty-gritty. I just said, unfortunately, they don't align with my quality of service or the type of service I want to put out there, hence why X, Y, and Z. I know the difficult one for me is the staff. When it comes to a staffing company, because that plays a big role on the day.
They are your right hand on the day. You can't gamble on your staffing company. No offense.
Yes, no, you can't gamble on that. Normally it's like happy wife, happy life. We normally say happy staff, happy clients, happy guests for the wedding day. So
they carry you through the entire wedding.
Exactly. So how do planners build these quick and yet effective relationships? Pre-wedding communication is key. Your planner will reach out to each vendor before the big day. Even if they worked together before, they'll go over the timeline, expectations, and any specific details that could impact each vendor setup or service. This proactive communication is essential because it helps eliminate misunderstandings on the day of.
Another key is setting super clear expectations. When each vendor knows exactly what's expected of them, there's no guessing. The florist knows when to be where, the caterers know where the kitchen is, and the DJs know how much time they have to set up. We as planners are basically the quarterback calling the plays.
Mutual respect. This might sound simple, but it is huge. Planners who respect their vendors' time and craft get their respect back in spades. This creates a sense of teamwork, even though they've just met. Vendors are more willing to go the extra mile if they feel appreciated, and a planner who values each vendor is like getting everyone's best work. I don't know about you, Linka, but I've had weddings where I've made a planner's or a vendor's bar tab. Some clients unfortunately don't have an open bar, and that means that we as vendors also need to go and buy a cool drink, buy a water, whatever we would like to have or consume as just a drink after running around so much. I then go and set that up and then tell the suppliers there's a tab, you can order whatever you want.
Me too, and then we settle
and then
it.
we just pay for
Yes.
it. Somewhere along the line it will come back to me, but we just be the nice one there and make sure they looked after regardless.
Definitely.
I try to tell my clients, please can we just have a tab for the suppliers, but if they really like push back onto it, it will be fine. A lot of our suppliers contracts also have it that they need to be supplied with drinks and food at least. So
Yes, I'm very pedantic on that. I feel like my service providers deserve to receive the canapes during pre-drinks, and I make sure they have a drink in hand after the couple has received. And then, so with regards to the reception area and during the night, we will supply a glass of wine with the main meal for the suppliers, but they don't go to town. They would like a Coke Zero, still a sparkling water, as they are on the job. So I would also then step in and offer them the tab, and then I would settle it at the end of the evening.
yes,
It's a good incentive.
it is a good incentive.
Flexibility and problem solving. Wedding days don't always go exactly as planned. Surprise, surprise. Good planners know that flexibility is key, and they look for vendors who can roll with the punches. A planner who can work alongside flexible, problem-solving vendors is setting up for success no matter what little surprises the day brings.
Goodness, this is super important, the
Very.
flexibility. Things can change on a whim like that. We sometimes struggle with vendors that, and I get it, we also as a planner, you've got this plan out, you see this day, you visualize it for your client.
You want it to be perfect.
But unfortunately, an oven breaks inside the venue, inside the kitchen, and then you have to go to your client and be like, cool, can we do one more speech, because we're just trying to figure out how to get mains out, and it does throw some of your things around. Or the photographer, something is delayed, ceremony is delayed, pre-dinner drinks delayed, whatever the case may be, and we kind of have to roll with that. So the photographer needs to plan or change things around, and we need suppliers that is fine with that, not freeze when something does go wrong, or not being able to accommodate you. I've had a photographer, and unfortunately I haven't recommended her again, and she did a last wedding for me of the season, and I knew we're going to go a little bit over time. We only booked like 6 or 8 hours with her, and I knew it's sometimes just too little, and she hasn't even greeted me. She came on site and said she's not going to extend. I just need to know there's no extension for her tonight because it's the last wedding of the season and she wants to go relax. More power to you for that, but if I wanted 15 minutes longer, would you have not given that to my client? It's their special day. So small little things like that sometimes can bug us.
Suppliers have to have wiggle room, and normally when things go wrong, like we've mentioned before, we never tell the couple.
No.
If they don't need to be informed, we will keep that secret and take it to our graves with us. But
We laugh about it later on,
Yes.
maybe with them a year later. And
yes,
then,
maybe
yeah.
if we reflect back on the wedding day, like a year later, we will bring it up, we will have a laugh about it, but generally we won't inform them. If it is not needed, if they don't have to make a
Decision.
very important decision or make a specific call with regards to this situation, if finances are involved, we unfortunately have to inform the couple, of course. But they have appointed us to make the decision on their behalf so that we can leave them to enjoy their special day. So in that sense, we need suppliers to have your back and to also be flexible and to have a little bit of wiggle room to sort out the problem at hand.
And then the last tip I can give you guys is be a nice person. It doesn't cost you a lot. Kindness,
doesn't.
kill everyone with kindness. Vendors, everyone alike. Just be nice to each other. Obviously respecting each other's craft, but yeah, being kind does go a long way.
It does, and it's like a puzzle that fits together. Everyone plays such a significant, crucial role, and if each vendor goes above and beyond with their specific task, the whole picture will come together and the client will be happy.
Exactly. There's nothing as fun as being on site and you have this amazing team that you can laugh with, dance with, cry with, and have just such a fun time while making sure your client's day is absolutely perfect.
Yes, they do go through us with all the emotions and the ups and downs, and they do experience everything with us from the building phase and the planning and the sourcing of the decor. So they've seen it all and they've been there for the whole journey. But the setup and the service days where it's like the highlights of the entire process, and then you want people who would like to celebrate with you rather than be negative and bring you down and point out any other problems and things like that.
I think one of my fondest memories is walking into a venue the one day, and the florist, she was busy offloading, and I saw her on the far end of the venue, and I was on this side, and she saw me, and she's like, "Eliz, Mama, and I'm so excited." And I just got so excited while she was uploading. She's like, "I can't believe it's here," and like just that excitement in your vendors as well. And throughout the whole planning day and the planning process, like that relationship really makes the planning process for us, not just with our clients, but just this whole ordeal that we go with, so much nicer.
Definitely, and especially if these vendors aren't necessarily there to experience the part where the couple enters the venue. Elisma and I both always take a video of the couple's reaction, and we send it to either the florist or the decor company, and them experiencing the couple's reactions, that is priceless to me. And it's there.
I love the feedback.
Yes, and then they can also take part in the in the special moment where literally it all comes together and the couple sees this venue for the first time, and all their hard work can be celebrated.
Exactly. So Linka, is there any other stories that you have of vendors saving the day or leveraging your relationships?
Yes, recently I had a wedding where we did a cluster of 7 chandeliers, and unfortunately when they packed out the last chandelier, they saw that it broke and accidentally broke. So the supplier came to me and she said, "I'm so sorry about this, but we are going to replace it for you. Do you have any specific chandelier in mind that you would like to replace it with?" And I was there standing and thinking, okay, looking at the space, we already have the biggest one on site hanging in the middle. So the outer skirts are the smaller chandeliers. So my head is initially thinking, okay, another small one to balance it all out. Elisma pops up from the back. She shouts, "Get the biggest one!"
I had to help a sister out there. She was just being too nice. We've got these relationships for a reason.
Yes, and we both know the owner quite well. So we were on the phone and saying, "Hey, listen, you need to bring the biggest one at no extra cost." And shame, because we know them quite well and they were laughing at us being so daring and bold. He actually pulled through and they brought the biggest chandelier in the warehouse, and we shuffled the chandelier cluster around and we put up this massive, amazing chandelier in the middle. And
stunning.
It was just beautiful. The bride was absolutely blown away with the whole cluster at the end of the night.
Did you ask something about how did we get this big one?
I told her.
Okay.
Yes, she walked in during the setup.
Brownie points for you, Linka.
Yes, yes. Shout out to the decor company. And then the Friday evening at the rehearsal dinner, the bride popped into the venue and she was like, "But what? This is amazing. How did we get this big chandelier?" And I was like, "It's the people you know."
It's the people you know. That's definitely the case. I think I've had I had a wedding where the tent started leaking and I had to phone the supplier and be like, "Come, you need to fix this. I can't let the people sit down until the leak in the roof is done." So they rushed through, that fixed it for me. Everything worked out perfectly. I maybe had like a last minute thing that the client wanted to hire and literally rock up at the supplier, got there and be like, "Cool, can I add X, Y, and Z into my car?"
Might as well. While we're at it.
While we're here, can we just throw this in and that in, and I need that too, and then add it to my bill. I'll pay it afterwards.
Thanks.
Because we've got that relationship, they trust you that you are going to pay it, and
Of
that's
course.
perfectly fine. The same as sometimes our clients, I've had that before, and unfortunately it happened this week as well. I had to hold supplies for a specific client, but there's no payment yet, there's no confirmation from the client yet, and it's peak season. It's like end of this month basically
Ooh,
taking place.
stressful.
And unfortunately the one supplier said she can no longer keep it for me, and now I need to make another plan, and that's fine, that's on the client. I sent everything through, they needed to approve. But the another supplier said that's perfectly fine, they've kept it reserved, but that's because of the relationships we have.
And they know you, and they know you will definitely not
Deliver.
Yes, and you won't cancel on them last minute. You will take the items that you have booked
Exactly.
out. But also one little last story. Also a previous wedding I had, our stationery measurements and the idea of hanging this certain welcome board and seating chart fell through. So when it has happened multiple times where I rocked up to the decor place and I was like, I need this and this and this and this. Can I please just put it in my car, add it to the invoice? And they are always so interested as to, oh, why do you need
What happened?
a signage stand last minute? And I was like, oh, a little slight dilemma with the stationery, but don't worry about it. It's fixed and sorted. Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, I drive away with 5 extra items because of them saving my butt.
Yeah, well, that's how we do. That's why we've got these relationships and leveraging them where we can.
Yes.
I've had things where I had to phone last minute and be like, cool, I need more of this. Can we do it? Yes, that's fine. Can we reduce this? Sorry, can you credit me? I can credit your company, not the client. And then I'm like, okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. And then I know I'll use it later. So these relationships are really important. We do... Yeah, it's definitely easy for us to work in the industry if we've got amazing vendors working with us.
Oh, I love these stories because they really show how great vendor relationships can turn potential disasters into success stories.
It shows that quick teamwork and flexibility are exactly what makes these vendor connections so valuable.
In conclusion, all right, wedding dreamers, I hope today's episode gave you a little more insight into the importance of those vendor relationships, no matter how short they might be. Planners and vendors form these amazing rapid-fire connections that make your day run smoothly, and they're the invisible backbone of a successful wedding.
Remember, when you pick the right team and let them do what they do best, you're setting the stage for magic. So trust your planner, support your vendors, and rest easy knowing that they've got your back.
Thanks for tuning in, and until next time.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Bridal Hype.
If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe and leave a review. Join us on social media to share your thoughts and connect with our Hype community.
Be sure to catch our next episode. Until next time,
Keep the hype alive.